They're harvesting your power, and you're helping them do it. You must first change your beliefs about yourself and this world. They've trained you to believe their lies. In this video, I'm going to show you one example from a recent comment of how deeply and completely your mind has been hijacked and programmed to the point where you believe in things that do not exist. So you must first change your beliefs about yourself and this world. They've trained you to feel completely dependent upon their false system. You believe that you'll die without them. This is the whole point of society. This is the whole point of grammar school, kindergarten, nursery school, high school, college, university, graduate school. That's what all of your job training is all about. That's what the media is all about. It is all about completely, totally harvesting your mind and controlling what you think and what you do. And until you are able to reprogram yourself, you will not be able to resist giving them all of your power. They've trained you to feel completely dependent upon their false system. You believe you will die without them. Your instilled fear of death makes you believe in concepts you know are false. You lie to yourself so you can hopefully get their approval. This is the part that is the most insidious. It would be one thing if you could just get some knowledge. Oh, what they're feeding me isn't true. They're trying to program me. Oh, okay, I just won't let that happen. That won't work. Because even though you may know that, even though you may feel it, you believe that they are responsible for your survival. I mean, there isn't anybody here talking to me, including myself, who wouldn't absolutely flip out if all of a sudden your access to money were taken away. Even though I know that money doesn't exist. It is an intellectual concept. It is not a real thing. I know it is imposed upon us. But your instilled fear of death makes you believe in concepts you know are false. I'm going to prove it to you. I responded to a comment that somebody left on the channel, and it was in response to my video, "You've tried everything and nothing works." And here's the person's first response. They say to me, "Nothing works. Meditate 4 hours a day on a desire only to repeat the cycle of not knowing how anything will happen. Everyone deserves love and millions of dollars." Goes on to say, "I'd use my wishbone to see everyone set. Watching people suffer is enlightening, but I'd rather people get some good stuff for it." So first off, absolutely none of that is what I said. None of it. At no point did I say, meditate for 4 hours, stuff your feelings down, and pretend that everything is okay. At no point did I say that making yourself aware of the trauma and tragedy of other people is spirituality. These are all of his internal beliefs. And as you've seen, what he says is that money is what is most important. And for him, money is being withheld from him and from these other people. And if it were up to him, he would save everybody by how? By giving them money. So he didn't even understand what I was talking about. So again, I make this mistake because sometimes I'm a little naive, and so I respond trying to help him understand what I was saying in the video. And I say, except for this problem, money is an illusion. It doesn't exist. You think it exists, and that causes more suffering. When there is no more money, then people can have equality. So what I meant by that was that, again, money is an idea that is imposed upon you. It's not even a real thing. Yes, at some point there was a time when the dollar bill was a promissory note that actually represented a certain amount of gold. And so you could say money was real, but even then, gold is still just a symbol. Even though it's a real thing you can hold in your hand, it's still just a symbol, because you can't eat gold, you can't wear gold, you can't wipe your butt with it, you can't drink it, you can't do anything with it unless the person that you're dealing with agrees with you that gold has a certain value. And then you can use that to trade and barter. But that's all it is. It's just a symbol. Just to give you an idea, the ironic thing is that the people who have all the money now are people in Switzerland. Now, 2,000 years ago, my ancestors in that part of Europe, when the Romans came to those barbarians, these were people that weren't part of Roman society or civilization. They were people who lived in nature. They lived connected to nature. And when the Romans showed up with gold and silver, and they gave them these fancy silver goblets, these people would look at the silver goblet and go, oh, that's interesting, and they'd put it on the shelf, and then they'd pick up their wooden cup and drink with it. When they were given an opportunity to have silver or gold, they took silver because silver was shinier. They didn't have an understanding that gold is more valuable because they hadn't been programmed to believe that these things had worth. The word that we have for payment in English is fee, F-E-E. And it goes back to a time when there wasn't any such thing as money. What people had were cows. And the person who had the largest herd of cows was the richest person. That's where the word pecuniary comes from, because pecuniae means cow in Latin. And so if you wanted somebody to do something, or they would charge you a fee, they would charge you a fehu, they would charge you a cow, because the cow gives milk. The cow can be slaughtered and eaten. The bones can be made into tools. The cow has actual real world value. Unlike gold, you can't eat, you can't drink, you can't wipe your butt with it. A cow, you can drink the milk, you can eat the meat, you can wear the skins. It has actual real world value. But that is gone. And now people think that money means something, and so does this guy. Remember what I told him, and then you'll hear his response, which you'll see he doesn't get it. My response to him was, except for this problem, money is an illusion. It doesn't exist. You think it exists, and that causes more suffering. When there is no more money, then people can have equality, meaning when we can let me give just for an example. His belief is that if money stopped existing, things would stop existing. Your phone would stop existing, your glass bottles, your drinks, your car, your hat, your clothes. In his mind, if you don't have money, those things will simply disappear. You won't get access to them. But did money create the glass? No, people did. Did money put the drink inside of the glass? No, people did. Did money create the computer I'm using to talk to you on? No, people did. But those people were paid in money because they believe that if they don't get money, they don't have any value. And because their landlords, or the banks that they're paying mortgage on, tell them, unless you give me money, you can't live, people have to take money. But the truth is, every single thing that we have, every single piece of technology, every single piece of food, clothing, tables, chairs, they all exist in a physical reality, and people make them. You don't need money for anything. We need money because we are forced to. If you don't play the game, you will end up on the chopping block. Don't believe me? Don't file for your taxes. Now, interestingly enough, if you don't pay your taxes, that's not a federal crime. But if you don't file for taxes, you can be put in prison. What does that mean? Filing your tax, your 1040, when you file that, when you fill it out and you sign it, you are agreeing to sell your soul to the concept of money to the IRS, which is nothing more than the banks. You are selling your soul to the banks, and you are saying, I will accept the religion of money. And the reason why you don't go to jail if you don't pay your taxes is because you still believe and accept that money is real. But if you don't file your taxes, then the banks get very uncomfortable, because you're saying, I don't even believe in the concept of money. Then they put you in prison. So he says, when I tell him there is no money, then people can have equality, he says, what is equality without money? Again, he thinks that money exists in the same way that oxygen exists. What is life without oxygen? You'd die. He honestly believes that without money he would die. He didn't even hear what I said. Why? He didn't hear what I said because his instilled fear of death makes him believe in concepts he knows are false. He lies to himself so he can hopefully get their approval. Why does he need their approval? So that they'll give him money. Because without money, he doesn't think he can have anything. Don't believe me? Read it again. He says, not like we exist to have stuff, but it makes it easier if we actually do. Meaning, if you don't have money, stuff won't exist. This is the most severe form of mental programming that exists. And until you at least understand that concept, nothing's going to change. Because according to him, as long as we have money, we're okay. Yeah, we'll change, we'll get rid of different rulers, and then they'll let us have money. And once we have money, then we can have stuff. Because he believes that stuff exists because money exists. Like life exists because oxygen exists. Take all the oxygen out of the room, you'll suffocate. Take all the money out of the world, and all of the stuff will disappear. This is a programmed lie. Your choice to believe their lies creates cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is a symptom of severe trauma, and it paralyzes your mind. This guy's mind is paralyzed. I already told him money's an illusion. It doesn't exist. When there's no more money, then people can have equality. And he says, what's equality without money? It's not like we exist to have stuff, but it makes it easier if we actually do laugh out loud. He can't even tolerate the concept. We know that people exist without money. Our ancestors did. We know that primitive people did. What's the difference between a primitive tribe who doesn't have money and us? They don't have the technology that we have. Does that mean if we give them money that they'll figure out how to create things? No. We can create technology. There's a very good reason to believe that 13,000 years ago, we had a worldwide society that had far more advanced technology than we have now, and they didn't have any money. Because you don't need money to build pyramids. You just need people. And you need science and knowledge and technology. And those things will exist even if money disappears. But you don't believe that because you have cognitive dissonance. Your choice to believe their lies creates cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is a symptom of severe trauma and paralyzes your mind. What is cognitive dissonance? It means that you know something is true, but you're choosing to believe something that's false. And the battle between the true thing you know and the false thing you know is, if you don't choose to believe the false thing, you believe that they, whoever they are, God or the government or whomever, your parents, if you don't choose to believe the false thing, you believe in your body and your nervous system that they'll kill you. Your choice to believe their lies creates cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is a symptom of severe trauma, and it paralyzes your mind. I say money doesn't exist, bounces right off your head, and you go, yeah, but at least we'll have some stuff if there's money, because his mind is paralyzed. He's incapable of even understanding the concept. When your mind is paralyzed by cognitive dissonance, they can control and feed off of your misery. Well, I mean, it's not like I live for stuff, but it's nice to have it. Assumption. Without their approval, i.e. money, I can't have stuff. And I need stuff to be happy and to live. You do need stuff to be happy and to live. You need food, you need clothing, you need technology, you need all that. And money created none of those things. People did. But you don't believe that. You choose to believe the lie that money is the same as the weather, that it changes on its own, and that you can't control it, but you sure as hell need it. When your mind is paralyzed by cognitive dissonance, they can control and feed off of your misery. But you will willingly give your power to them in the hopes that you will survive. You continue to choose to not even hear or choose to even open your mind to what you already know, which is that money is an intellectual concept that is made up. You refuse to even acknowledge what you know to be true because you desperately want them to take care of you. You desperately want them to allow you to survive. And you believe that they have what you need to survive. You have been programmed to believe that. When confronted with the truth, your fear-programmed mind will violently resist. The truth will feel like an attack on your survival. Don't believe me? What is equality without money? Not like we exist to have stuff, but it makes it easier if we actually do. Meaning, I can't live without stuff. Don't take money away. I won't have my stuff. When confronted with the truth, your fear of death that has been programmed into you, that has been programmed into your mind, will violently resist the truth that is obvious and right in front of you. The truth will feel like an attack on your survival. Knowledge is not enough to free you. Watching this video is not going to free you. Accepting what I say. Wow, man, that guy's saying is pretty gnarly, dude. Your listening to me won't save you. Knowing this won't save you. Talking about it with others, complaining about it with others won't save you. Your mind must be reprogrammed and your energy increased. The only way to free yourself is with higher dimensional energy and cosmic truth. Until we are reprogrammed on a higher dimensional level, people will say the same thing as this gentleman, and they won't be able to stop themselves. They won't even understand the concept. Because you have been told that you are a tiny little person that was created by something outside of you. Call it God, call it the Spirit, call it Source, call it whatever you want. You still believe something outside of you created you. You believe that your worth is based upon the acceptance and the approval of those outside of you. Don't believe me? He says it right here. What is equality without money? Translated, how can I have any worth as a being? How can I have the worthiness to exist without money? What is money? Money is approval. Don't believe me? I've got 2 words for you. And when I say those 2 words, your nervous system is going to respond and listen. Credit score. I get emails all the time from places telling me, your credit score went up, your credit score report. And my nervous system goes, my credit score? Because why? Because without credit score, I can't rent houses from most people. I rent a house from a guy who knows me, and so he rents it to me. He doesn't care what my credit score is. He knows that I'm good for it. But if I go somewhere else, because I have a crappy credit score, and I try and rent something from your average real estate agent, he's going to go, your credit score sucks. And I'm like, yeah, but I always pay my rent. It's like, I don't care. I can't rent to you unless you have credit score of whatever it is. Because the credit score, which is a completely made up number based on a completely made up thing, tells him my value as a person. Because if you don't have a place to live, you die. And so the end result is you feel as though your worth is based upon the approval of the credit score is not a conscious being that came into existence. It is something that was invented by whom? The banks. Because the banks are the controlling arm of the people above them, the elites. This is the biggest psyop in human history. It's been going on for thousands of years. Knowledge is not enough to free you. The only way to free yourself is with higher dimensional energy and cosmic truth. But higher dimensional energy is going to tell you things that are completely 100% opposite everything you've been told is true. You are going to be told, if you connect to higher dimensional energy, that you are loved beyond anything you can possibly imagine, and you will feel love that goes beyond anything you've ever experienced in your life. And you will fight this because it will feel like it's killing you. Why? Because you believe if you don't get the approval of the banks, of the people, of the government, of the religious God, if you don't get their approval, you will die. And in this third dimensional world, it can happen. Because without their approval, you don't have a credit score. Without a credit score, you can't get a loan. You can't find a place to live. You can't get a car. You can't do all kinds of things. Which means you can't live. People off themselves because they don't have what? Money, which doesn't exist. People off themselves because of their credit score. You've been trained to respond that way. So when your higher dimensional family, who doesn't live in this nonsensical three-dimensional matrix world, when they tell you the truth, your internal response is going to be to fight everything that they tell you. The love that they give you, you're going to fight against it. It's going to cause you anxiety, you're going to get angry, and you're going to run away. When they tell you that not only do you not need money or a credit score or anything to exist, you are valuable simply because you are a soul. You're the most valuable being in the world. In fact, you're God. You created the universe. You're going to run away from that. I've had people say the most horrible things to me because I've said that not only are they God, I've said, I'm God. I created this world. They say, I can't believe that you believe that. I'm not so full of myself that I have to. Why not? Because to be full of yourself is bad. You have to crawl on your belly. You have to crawl on the floor and bow before God. You have to confess your sins. You have to be a piece of garbage. They will love you if you accept the idea that you are a piece of garbage. Your value comes from what you do for them. Don't believe me? Try doing anything without money. You will die. They will kill you if you don't have money. They won't say to you, you have value because you exist. They will say, you have value because you do this work for the machine that gives us money. Therefore, we will give you money so you can exist. The only way to free yourself is with higher dimensional energy and cosmic truth. So, how can you do it? I have resources to help you accomplish this. We have free live guided meditations twice a week on this channel, every Wednesday and Saturday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I will guide you into meditations that will take you outside of this third dimension and will connect you to these higher dimensional beings. If you can take it, if you can handle it. I'm dedicating my life to this, so I do it twice a week, every week, no matter how many people show up or don't show up. The Warrior 90-Day Lightning Qigong. You can find that at thunderwizard.com. If you go to Thunderwizard page, thunderwizard.com, you'll see membership. Click on membership, and when you click on membership, you'll see a bunch of different ways that you can subscribe to the channel. The Warrior 90-Day Lightning Qigong is one of them, and if you haven't done it, that is an excellent place to start. The Mao Shan practices. I am now completely, totally focusing on teaching the entire Mao Shan tradition as I know it. And it's because I now know, after 30 years of practice and 3 years of direct communication with higher dimensional beings, I now know that these practices are higher dimensional energy practices. And for the first time in 30 plus years that I've been doing this, when I do these practices, I feel more connected to this world instead of separated from it. What that means is this world is shifting. The energy, the frequency of this world is shifting, and these practices are giving me the ability to stay in this new world. If you want that, go and find all of the places that you can get the Mao Shan practices. You can do that by subscribing at thunderwizard.com, and you can also get it if you go down to maoshan.thunderwizard.com. If you go to thunderwizard.com, and again, you go to the page there, you will see the shop. You see that where it says shop? You will click on shop. And if you want to get started, you want to see if I'm telling you the truth about this energy, get the Awakening the Immortals. It is super inexpensive. I did that on purpose so that people could feel it. And it's not because it's a chintzy or cheap practice. It's one of the most powerful energy practices in existence. Do that and you'll feel the energy yourself. When you're ready to go further than that, then there's more that we can do. You can go to maoshan.thunderwizard.com and you'll see all of the practices there. I am uploading a new set. So now you have the 5-element sets, which you can do all the 5-element Mao Shan spirit fighting sets. Incredibly powerful. Master the 5 elements from a higher dimensional perspective. And then there is the first spirit fighting set, which I've just released, which you've probably seen videos for. The Hands of Infinity, the Mao Shan Internal Kung Fu, Mao Shan Spirit Fighting Form number 1. You can do that after you've done the 5-element spirit fighting. But anywhere along the path where you are, you can also do the butterfly set. Now, some of you have access to one of the first butterfly sets that I created, but I've created what I call the quantum butterfly, which is both the right hand and the left hand practice, and I have created it to go in all 4 of the cardinal directions, which means bringing power from all of the major elements into your body. It is, when it comes to just pure, raw chi power and shin power, there is nothing more powerful than the butterfly hands. So that set is coming out soon. So those are the resources that I make available to you. Subscribe at thunderwizard.com. If you want to learn how to communicate with these beings like I do, you can go to contact.thunderwizard.com. If you want me to channel the light beings to you, and you can feel their energy, and you can be empowered with them telling you who you are in the higher dimensions, and have that higher dimensional energy fill your reality, go to channel.thunderwizard.com and book a session with me. But it doesn't matter. There's all kinds of free stuff here, the free meditations, and all the other things that I provide. And do me a favor, share this channel with all of your contacts. Let's get this message out. It's time to shift. With that, my friends, I appreciate you. Thank you for being here, and I will see you all very, very soon.